From a narrative point of view, because Emilio didn't want to be filmed and interview in this film, we decided to choose one person for every project. We started with him, we decided what project, what buildings we could film. And we share with him the idea.
He chose the buildings that he wanted to be depicted in the film?
No, we proposed him that buildings, and because we really want to take a tour around the world, not for us, but for the audience, because it was important for us, show this visionary world through the world. And after that, we try to, thanks to him, we try to meet one person for every building, someone who was quite involved or in the construction during the process, during the idea, and blah blah blah. And that person at the end will be our testimonies of his work. From a visual point of view, we started filming La Casa del Retiro Espiritual in Spain, in Sevilla, and it's so amazing, it's so unique, and we decided to block the framing for the architecture, because the lines of the buildings, the perfection of the idea is so it's so perfect, it's so squared in a way, and we decided to use a lot of very central framing perspective, and there were the first idea about our approach. And of course, at the end we filmed the maquettes, and and we decided to use the changing lights, because we didn't want to use drones on the buildings. We wanted to stay on the ground level, because it's the human level, because you can see an architect from the ground, not from the sky. But at the same time, his architecture are so are part of the world, and are in the middle of this like astronomical point. So the lights and the way of the lights could change the structure of the architecture is so important that at the end we decided to film through the maquettes how that buildings could change from the morning to the evening, changing the position of the lights around the maquettes.
It's quite interesting because there are a lot of fixed shots in the film, which I guess helps what you mentioned, like to have a certain compositional style that is loyal to this outstanding lines that Emilio creates. But it's also quite interesting to see or to highlight the movement of nature, and the idea also of the maquettes just opposed with the actual buildings. It brings some sort of like the perhaps conceptual process that Emilio had in thinking about these places, and then the actual human point of view that you decided to depict. It's lovely.
It's not easy to film architecture, because it's easy probably to, but it's not so easy also to yeah, to capture through the through a camera, but and in fact I'm it's quite easier for me to film the person. I'm as I said before, I come from a type of filmmaking through the stories of the person. So my personal challenge was through that. How can I, because I'm also the cinematographer of the film, so how can I portray this vision through the camera? And it's not easy because sometimes you can, yeah, an architecture, it don't move. It's so stable, it's so fixed. So probably the nature helped me to create some movement in the frames.
Before we open the mic, I'm just curious about how was the first time that you showed the result to Emilio Ambasz, and how was his reaction to the film?
He was really happy about the work because it's not so easy for him trusting somebody, and he's a control freak. But with this film, he trusts in us. He abandoned that type of control, and it was a really surprise after the first screening with him. He didn't ask any correction, any changes, anything. He was really happy.
So please, if you have any questions, yes.
I have two questions. Okay. How to combine a video between true life and 3D animation? Second question, what are programs used in the film?
Okay, there is no any type of animation or 3D because the maquettes are real, and Emilio Ambasz made that maquettes during his process of creating that buildings. So that are maquettes from the 70s and the 80s, and he saw and he took care so much about these maquettes because as you can see, there are these plexiglass box on that, like in a museum, that they are in a really good conditions. And probably that is because you thought that are like 3D because they are so green, so perfect, so well made, and also the lights. And we shot that sequences in a big studio in Milano, and we had this camera on this like a big dolly, so we could move the camera around the maquettes, and also because the maquettes are quite big because like this. So we put these maquettes on a round machine, so the maquettes could turn, and also the light and also the camera. It was a combination of three movements between the maquettes, the lights, and the camera.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else who would like to comment or ask a question? Join us in the discussion.
I felt that there was a passion from these architects towards his work? Was it difficult to convince them?
Not at all. And I I thought that they are really impressed by the work of Emilio Ambasz. And when we shoot them, I felt, but just because the oriental approach to the camera and the use of the voice and the gesture and the body language are so different by maybe mine Italian body language, I thought they are so serious. Probably they don't like so much him, but it's not true, because before and after the interview, they said out of camera, they said a lot of very good thing about Emilio Ambasz, and I really think that for Fukuoka, they think that Emilio Ambasz change that city in a better way, of course.
I mean, you're not an architect, but how did you get to? How did you approach the architecture before? And I mean, you saw the maquette, you spoke to him, he was very clear. I don't want you to film me, but how did you? I mean, you filmed the buildings as if you're painting them, and you said that you're an artist at the base. So how did you figure out how you're going to film those pre-Bosco Verticale buildings?
Thank you for your compliment. And I don't know, I think that there is something very instinctive, and I think that type of architecture helped me a lot, because we started from Sevilla, from Spain, and it was winter, and Emilio Ambasz was quite afraid, because he said to us, please go on summer, because in winter there's no leaves on the trees, there's no green grass on the ground, but it's not true, because you don't need that type of color, because that building is so unique, because really it's something that you can see from the moon, because there's nobody around, just mountain, just hill, and just these completely white walls. And it's true that I paint these buildings that it's like a painting, because if you shot that house in the landscapes, it's like a painting. I don't want to say that I didn't do anything, but really the architecture of Ambasz help a lot to create this type of images.
So I have one last question before we end. So after meeting Emilio Ambasz and after visiting some of his buildings and after seeing like his wonderful maquettes and discussing this not only with him but with Francesca, what do you think his architecture or his conceptual approach taught you as an artist, as a filmmaker? Is there anything that you believe you carry with you?
That sometimes it's very difficult to believe in your vision, but probably is the only good thing to do, because it's real that when Emilio Ambasz started to think about this type of green architecture, nobody was so involved or interested in this type of architecture, and he didn't believe so much in the idea of theory or of the concept or something. This is the fact that because he decided to to talk about his work through fairy tales, through fables, because he don't believe in the theories. And so I think that it is a real pioneer in this idea of, he had this incredible vision in time when nobody thought about this, and he went ahead straight in this idea. And also for Fukuoka, he had the idea of, okay, we need to wait a lot of time because my idea of this big mountain of green realize, and at the beginning all the people said, but it's not green, it's only gray. And so I think that this vision, the time of, you have to wait because your vision becomes true. And I think that this is a good learning for me and for all the person that work with the creative approach.
So thank you very much, Mattia, for joining us tonight. Thank you, Film My Design, Tarek. Thank you, the audience. I hope you enjoy other films in the program. It was a pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you so much.